Welcome to another episode of Management Unplugged by GR. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt that surge of panic? When you realize you have to present or maybe speak up at a really critical meeting?
Yeah.
That feeling, sweaty palms, racing heart. Maybe your mind just goes completely blank, staring out at all those faces.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly common. So many people feel that.
It really is. Well, in this deep dive, we're looking at something that doesn't just help you manage that fear. We're exploring a global organization that actually promises to turn it into real confidence.
And maybe more surprisingly, to build leadership skills too.
Exactly. And our sources suggest it's much more than just, practicing speeches.
Right. It digs deeper. It's about fundamental shifts, really. Changes in how you think, your presence, even how you see yourself. It can be an identity shift.
Okay, so let's unpack this. When we talk about conquering this fear, building leadership, Toastmasters International comes up. What is it exactly? And what makes it, different from just taking a standard public speaking course?
Great question. Gets right to the heart of it. So Toastmasters started way back, 1924, California. And it's grown massively since then. We're talking a huge global educational network. Thousands of clubs, something like 149 countries, over 270,000 members.
Wow.
Yeah, but the key thing, the source material stresses this, is that it's a club, not a course.
A club. Yeah,
Meaning you learn by doing, not just by listening to lectures. That's a really critical distinction.
That's interesting because even now, right, with all our tech, emails, Slack, public speaking still seems like such a powerhouse skill according to the sources. Why is that?
Well, I think it boils down to human connection, doesn't it? In this age of just information overload, anyone can Google facts. But the delivery, the ability to actually connect with people, build trust, persuade through your voice, that's the
So
differentiator.
it's the how, not just the what.
Exactly. And Toastmasters tackles that fear you mentioned head on. It helps members transform it step by step into genuine confidence, real impact.
Okay, so how does it work on the ground? In a meeting, the materials describe it as a sort of mini laboratory for communication.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You've got members giving prepared speeches, others taking roles like timer, evaluator, and then those impromptu rounds.
Tabletop.
Table topics.
Okay.
Famously challenging, but incredibly useful.
And everyone gets feedback, which seems crucial. But what makes this lab actually effective?
Well, it's the model itself that's insightful. There's no single trainer figure.
Right.
It's peers helping peers. You learn alongside people who are, just as vulnerable, just as focused on improving.
Creates a different dynamic, I imagine.
Totally. More empathy. You learn from their successes and their stumbles. It makes the feedback feel, more authentic maybe.
Right.
Less intimidating than a traditional teacher-student setup.
Makes sense.
Plus, you have the structured progression through their pathway system, chances to actually lead within the club, and that regular constructive feedback, all in a generally very supportive culture. I like the analogy the source used. You can't get better at swimming by reading books about it.
Exactly.
Toastmasters is the pool. It's where you actually jump in and practice speaking and leadership.
Precisely. It's the application.
Okay, so we've got the structure, the environment, but here's where it gets really interesting because the benefits seem to go way beyond just giving a decent speech. It's more holistic, isn't it?
Absolutely. It touches so many areas.
Let's start with clarity, both in speaking and thinking. How does it help you speak so people actually get it clearly, not just on stage, but day to day?
Well, you learn the mechanics, right? Structuring your message, cutting out filler words, the ums and ahs, keeping people engaged. And the surprising thing is you start thinking more clearly, too. Speaking and thinking are so tied together.
Sure.
And that's where Table Topics really shines. It's described as the ultimate tool for impromptu thinking.
Right, the on-the-spot speaking.
Imagine being put on the spot in a meeting, ask for your thoughts unexpectedly. Table Topics is direct training for that moment.
How does it work exactly?
You get a topic and you speak for maybe 1 to 2 minutes, right then and there. It builds that ability to think on your feet, manage nerves under pressure, sound articulate even without prep time.
I can see how that would be useful.
Hugely. Members say it helps directly with job interviews, Q&As, even just those quick, sharp conversations you have at work.
Then there's confidence.
Oh.
The source mentions repetition and feedback without fear.
Yeah.
How does that work? Repetition makes sense. Practice makes perfect, or at least better.
Right. You get chances to speak at nearly every meeting. You're encouraged to take small risks, try things out. It becomes a cycle. Try, get feedback, improve.
So the stage gets less scary over time.
Exactly. You might even start to enjoy it. but the feedback part is key too.
How do they ensure quality feedback in a peer setting? Isn't there a risk of it being too harsh or maybe too soft?
That's a fair point. But the process is structured. Every speech gets an evaluation, but the focus is firmly on being constructive, not critical.
Construct.
Yeah. Evaluators are trained to point out what you did well first, then offer specific, actionable suggestions for improvement. Things like what you can improve.
Yeah, because it's peers.
You're often learning from people who've been exactly where you are or are just a step ahead. It actually helps develop another key leadership skill: how to give and receive feedback gracefully.
I hadn't thought of that aspect.
And even for, say, really introverted people, the gradual immersion, the supportive structure, it helps them find their voice, maybe starting with smaller roles before giving a full speech.
Okay, and it's not just speaking skills. There's structured growth and actual leadership practice, too. You mentioned pathways.
Yes, Pathways is their online education system. It has, I think, 11 different learning tracks, things like presentation mastery, persuasive influence.
So you choose a path.
Choose a path, yeah. And each has 5 levels, mixing reading, practice, reflection. It provides that intentional growth structure.
And the leadership part, how does that become tangible?
This is fascinating. Each club elects officers: president, VP education, VP membership, etc.
So you can take on roles within the club itself.
Exactly.
Wow.
And doing that teaches you practical skills, running meetings, managing people, planning events, motivating others, even handling conflicts sometimes.
Real responsibility.
Real responsibility, but, and this is crucial within a safe learning space, mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, not career enders.
That safe space seems key. Does the club structure help keep people accountable?
It does, yeah. While it relies on individual initiative, the officer roles create a kind of built-in support and accountability system. The club's success relies on everyone chipping in.
And beyond the podium, the skills seem broader still. Holistic development, the sources say, like listening.
Yes. Toastmasters trains your ears just as much as your mouth. Evaluating others forces you to listen actively, critically, but constructively.
You develop empathy, maybe. Learn to read the room.
Precisely. You learn to pick up on nuances, adjust your own tone and message for better impact. Invaluable skills for anyone working in teams or dealing with clients.
And storytelling comes up too.
Oh, big time. Influence often boils down to telling a good story, right? Whether you're pitching an idea or motivating a team.
So Toastmasters helps with that.
Yeah, it helps you structure stories, use personal examples well, add emotion to make your point stick, makes communication memorable.
And the ripple effect.
Mm.
The confidence gain seems to spread outside the club meetings.
Absolutely. People report improvements everywhere: job interviews, team meetings, presenting at conferences, even just networking or talking at family gatherings.
So it's not about becoming a professional orator.
Not necessarily. It's about becoming a more effective communicator, period, wherever you need to speak.
Which leads to another point, the community aspect.
Right. You meet people from all sorts of different industries, different backgrounds. You build friendships, expand your network professionally and socially.
Like a built-in support group.
Kind of, yeah. A tribe, as the source puts it. People all working on improving themselves and helping each other do the same.
Okay, so bringing it all together.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ultimate takeaway for you, the listener? We've covered the skills, the confidence, the leadership, but it seems to culminate in something deeper.
It really does. The sources point to a fundamental shift in identity.
How so?
People stop saying things like, "Oh, I'm not a speaker," or "I always get nervous."
They're going to start saying,
They start saying, "I've given 10 speeches," or "I just won table topics," or "I'm mentoring a new member." It's a change in self-perception based on actual accomplishment.
There's a great line in the source material. That isn't just skill. That's identity shift.
That sums it up perfectly.
Oh, full stuff.
And alongside that, think about the discipline it builds. Regular meetings, preparing speeches. It requires commitment, time management. Plus, there's tangible recognition through the Pathways levels, even culminating in the Distinguished Toastmaster or DTM award.
Which carries some weight, I understand.
It does, yeah. It's globally recognized in communication and leadership circles.
So ultimately, who is Toastmasters really for? It sounds like it's not for the polished experts.
It's for anyone who wants to improve.
So if you want to speak without that crippling fear, lead with more confidence, think more clearly, express yourself better, maybe build a network of supportive people, and actually learn by doing.
Then based on this deep dive, Toastmaster seems like a very compelling option. It's absolutely for you.
Definitely something to consider.
And here's a final thought to chew on. Think about how deliberately stepping into a new skill, especially one that tackles a fear, a perceived weakness, how that act alone can start to fundamentally redefine who you believe you are and what you think you're capable of achieving. It often goes far beyond just mastering that one initial skill.
See you later. Bye-bye.